Have you ever stood in a place so vast, so quiet, that you could hear the wind carry stories across the plains? Have you ever looked up and felt the sky stretch forever above you? So endless, it makes your heart ache. Welcome to Mongolia, the land of eternal blue sky, a country that isn't defined by cities or borders, but by space. Endless, sacred space, by its people, the nomads who follow the rhythm of the earth, by its silence, deeper than any ocean, and by its wildness, and raw, majestic, and utterly free. This is not a country you simply visit. This is a land you experience with your entire being, and in this video, we're taking you on the ultimate journey, across steppes, deserts, forests, mountains, and timeless valleys. We'll meet reindeer herders and eagle hunters, sleep in nomadic gurs under stars, follow in the footsteps of Genghis Khan, and discover places so remote, so beautiful, they don't seem real. So pack your curiosity, leave behind your expectations, and let's begin our adventure in Mongolia, the last true frontier. Our journey begins in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia's high-altitude capital city. It's a strange, captivating place. Home to nearly half of the country's population, Ulaanbaatar is a chaotic blend of glass towers, Soviet blocks, Buddhist temples, and traffic jams. It's not what you expect when you think Mongolia, but don't skip it. UB is where Mongolia's soul first greets you. Start at Ulaanbaatar Square, the country's cultural and political heart. Here, Genghis Khan sits in stone outside Parliament, looking out over a city that balances between the ancient and the modern. From there, visit the National Museum of Mongolia, a must-see for understanding the country's rich history, from Stone Age tools to the rise of the Mongol Empire and the struggle through Soviet control to democracy. Next, wander through Gandun Monastery, the most important Buddhist center in the country. Monks chant, prayer wheels spin, incense hangs in the air, and inside the temple, a golden 26-meter Buddha towers overhead. Peaceful, patient, powerful. For views over the city, climb the Zisan Memorial and see how UB is held in the bowl of mountains and sky. You'll feel it, that pull, the call of the wild. Tomorrow you'll answer it. Just 2 hours from the capital, the city disappears, and the silence begins. You arrive at Gorky Terelj National Park, where granite formations rise like frozen waves above pine forests and wildflower valleys. The first thing you notice is space, air, freedom. This is where you start to feel what Mongolia really is. You stay in a traditional jur, a round felt tent, warmed by fire and lined with hand-painted furniture. You wake up to sunlight pouring through the smoke hole above you. Outside, horses graze, eagles soar, time disappears. Visit Turtle Rock, a natural stone formation shaped uncannily like a giant turtle. Nearby, hike to the Aryabal Meditation Temple, a Buddhist retreat perched high in the hills. From the top, look out over miles of untouched wilderness. It's silent, peaceful, restorative. Ride horses across the grasslands with local herders. Drink airag, fermented mare's milk. Try cork hog, lamb slow-cooked with hot stones. And when night falls, lie back and look up at the most stars you've ever seen. You don't check your phone here. You check your breath. You listen to the earth. As we leave Gorky Terelj behind, the paved roads give way to gravel paths. Herds of sheep cross without warning. Hawks circle low. The wind shifts, drier now, and the scent of grass deepens. We are heading west into a place where the last truly wild horses on Earth still roam. This is Khustain National Park, located just 100 kilometers from Ulaanbaatar. Khustain is one of Mongolia's most celebrated conservation areas. But it's not just the scenery that draws travelers here. It's the chance to witness the legendary Taki horses, also known as Przewalski's horses. These stocky, golden beige horses are not feral, they're wild in the truest sense. The species once roamed freely across the Eurasian steppe until they went extinct in the wild by the 1960s. Thanks to a dedicated reintroduction program, the Taki were brought back from the brink using zoo populations in Europe and returned to their ancestral homeland here in Khustain. Today, more than 350 of them roam the protected hills and valleys of the park. The best time to spot them is at dawn or dusk. Drive slowly along the dusty park road or hike quietly into the hills with a local ranger. The first glimpse is always magical. A small group grazing in a clearing, their manes standing tall, their eyes alert, their presence ancient. You stay in a simple eco-camp just outside the park boundaries. After a day of tracking the horses and hiking through untouched terrain, you return to your ger to sit by the fire and reflect. This is one of the few places in the world where you don't just observe wildness. You feel part of it. But Khustain is more than horses. The park is home to red deer, marmots, lynx, foxes, and over 200 species of birds. And beyond its biodiversity, there's something else here. A kind of silence that vibrates in your chest, a stillness that humbles you. Leaving Khustain, we make a short detour before continuing deeper into the heart of Mongolia. Our destination, the Chinggis Khan equestrian statue complex in Tsonjin Boldog. Rising 40 meters into the sky, this stainless steel giant gleams in the sunlight, showing Genghis Khan, or Chinggis Khan, as Mongolians say, astride a rearing horse. It's the largest equestrian statue in the world, standing exactly where, according to legend, the great Khan found his golden whip, a sign of destiny. You take an elevator inside the statue and emerge on a platform on top of the horse's head. From here, the view stretches far across the steppe. The surrounding museum showcases weapons, armor, and artifacts of Mongol history, while the base of the statue features a massive golden boot, symbolic, oversized, and strangely poetic. For Mongolians, this statue isn't just a tourist attraction, it's a reminder of the country's legacy. A time when the Mongol Empire stretched from the Pacific to the Danube, a time when this land was the center of the world. As we continue our journey west, the landscape begins to shift again. The hills flatten slightly. Rivers cut through broad valleys. Nomadic gers dot the landscape, not for tourists, but for real families living with their herds, following the rhythm of grass and season. We're heading into central Mongolia now, into provinces like Tov and Overkhangai, where history, culture, and nature intertwine in powerful, moving ways. But before we get there, we stop in a place that few travelers know, and even fewer ever forget. A narrow gravel road leads to a lesser-known set of deer stones, ancient standing stones carved with images of reindeer, weapons, and spiritual symbols. Dating back over 3,000 years, these stones are scattered across Mongolia, remnants of pre-Mongol nomadic tribes. Some stand tall and proud, others lean slightly, half buried in grass. No one knows exactly who made them or why, but standing in their presence, with wind rushing over the steppe and no human sound in any direction, you feel it, the presence of something old, something sacred. You kneel beside one of them, run your fingers across its carvings, and wonder how many others, warriors, herders, pilgrims, have stood where you are now, asking the same questions. The road continues, winding deeper. The trees grow taller. The air begins to cool. You pass wild herds, rickety bridges, prayer flag-covered mountain passes. And ahead, something waits. The valley where Mongolian civilization was born. As we continue westward, the landscape unfolds like an ancient scroll, endless rolling hills, grassy ridges, and rivers that seem to follow no modern logic, as only the patterns of time. We're now entering the Orkhon Valley, a place of quiet reverence and living history. This isn't just a scenic stop, this is the spiritual and cultural birthplace of Mongolia. Stretching over 120 kilometers along the Orkhon River in central Mongolia, this entire region is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, not just for its beauty, but for what it represents, the very cradle of nomadic civilization. And it begins with the river. The Orkhon River, wide and serene, cuts through a valley flanked by soft mountains and pastures grazed by horses, yaks and sheep. Nomadic families live scattered across the plains in gers, just as they have for thousands of years. Their animals drink from the same waters, their children run across the same meadows, their stories echo through the same wind. Start your exploration in the region's spiritual jewel, the ruins of Karakorum. Once the capital of the Mongol Empire in the 13th century, Karakorum was built by Ogedai Khan, the son of Genghis Khan. It was here that the empire centralized its administration, welcomed foreign envoys, and flourished with multi-ethnic life. Mongols, Persians, Chinese, Muslims, Buddhists, Christians and shamans, all sharing one imperial crossroads. Today, not much remains of the ancient city itself, but you can walk among its foundations and scattered stones at the Karakoram Archaeological Museum. Inside you'll find beautifully preserved artifacts, including coins, tools, statues, ceramics, and an original stone inscription by a Chinese diplomat who visited the city 800 years ago. Just beside the ruins, standing like a fortress of faith, is Erdene-Zhu Monastery, Mongolia's first Buddhist monastery. Founded in 1586, this massive complex once housed over 100 temples and 1,000 monks. Today, only a few buildings remain intact, surrounded by a square wall lined with 108 white stupas. Step through the gates and you enter a place that has survived war, suppression and centuries of change. Inside, monks still chant. Ancient Buddhist texts are preserved behind thick walls. Murals depicting the life of the Buddha and tantric symbols cover the walls. Outside, pilgrims spin prayer wheels and offer food and vodka to local spirits. You can walk slowly through the courtyards, feel the coolness of stone under your fingers and breathe the incense-heavy air. And just beyond the walls, wide grasslands, silence and the open steppe. After exploring Karakoram and Erdene-Zhu, spend time with a nomadic family in the valley. There are dozens of family-run jur camps where you can stay in a traditional yurt, share home-cooked meals and truly experience the nomadic lifestyle that continues to this day. You might join the family for milking cows, making fresh arul, dried curds, or helping prepare korkhog, a traditional Mongolian dish where mutton is cooked with hot stones in a metal container. The meat becomes unbelievably tender and the stones are passed hand to hand, believed to bring healing energy. Some families offer horseback treks to explore more of the valley. Riding through these sacred lands along riverbanks and through wildflower fields with no fence in sight is an experience unlike any other. If you're comfortable on horseback, take the longer route along the river to visit Khuvsgul Monastery, perched high in the mountains and accessible only by foot or horse. This small cliffside monastery was built in the 17th century and served as a retreat for Mongolia's greatest spiritual leader, Ulaanbaatar. The trail to reach it is steep and forested, but the reward at the summit, panoramic views of the valley below and the chance to sit in a 300-year-old meditation cave, is deeply moving. Another incredible sight within the Orkhon Valley is the Orkhon waterfall, also known as Ulaanbaatar. This is Mongolia's tallest waterfall, created where ancient volcanic rock meets the Orkhon River. Cascading 20 meters down into a narrow canyon, the waterfall is especially stunning in summer when green grass contrasts with black basalt cliffs and rushing water. Camp nearby, swim in the river if you're brave enough, or simply sit by the edge and take it all in. Many travelers say this is one of the most peaceful moments in their entire Mongolian journey. For those looking to venture further, the Orkhon Valley is also a jumping-off point to reach the Eight Lakes region and Naiman Nur, a collection of remote alpine lakes surrounded by forest and volcanic mountains. This area is best reached on multi-day treks or by horseback with a local guide and is a paradise for those seeking true remoteness. In the Orkhon Valley, the beauty isn't in the extravagance, it's in the details. A herd of horses crossing the river at sunrise, a lone stupa glowing in twilight, children laughing as they chase goats across the field, the smell of fresh milk tea over a wood fire, the quiet conversations you share with people who live in rhythm with the land. This isn't a place to rush through, it's a place to sit, to breathe, to remember how simple and profound life can be. As you leave the sacred Orkhon Valley and journey north, the air begins to shift. The grassy plains give way to forested slopes. The soil grows darker. The roads wind through hills and past lonely rivers. You're climbing now, higher, colder, deeper into the mysterious northern frontier of Mongolia. This is the province of Khuvsgul, often called Mongolia's Switzerland, but it's more than just beautiful. It's elemental. At the heart of this region lies Khuvsgul Lake, or Khuvsgul Nur, known as the Blue Pearl of Mongolia. It's the second largest lake in the country by surface area, but by volume, it holds more than 70% of Mongolia's fresh water. Stretching over 136 kilometers long and 260 meters deep, Khuvsgul is one of the oldest and most pristine lakes in the world. Its waters are so clear you can often see 20 meters down into the deep blue. The town of Khuvsgul, located at the southern tip of the lake, serves as the base for most travelers. It's a small, sleepy settlement with wooden cabins, local markets, and horses tethered outside homes. Stock up on supplies here, and from this point on, your adventure becomes quieter, wilder, and more remote. Drive or ride north along the western shore of the lake and you'll find small Jur camps and eco-lodges nestled between the pines. These are perfect places to rest, explore, and experience true Mongolian nature. Go for a walk along the shoreline. The lake changes color with the sky, sapphire in the sun, silver in the morning mist, deep navy at dusk. Herds of yaks and reindeer wander along the banks. In the distance, snow-capped mountains form the horizon. You hear nothing but birdsong, breeze, and the lapping of water. Hike up one of the surrounding ridges and you'll see the full length of the lake stretched before you like a mirror, or rent a kayak and paddle through glass-like water beneath eagles and silent skies. The region around Khuvsgul is also rich in cultural sites. Scattered across the forests and meadows are deer stones and kirigsur, ancient Bronze Age stone monuments carved with animal figures and spiritual symbols, often used for burial and ceremonial purposes. Some of these stones are over 3,000 years old, standing silent and unguarded, yet full of power. And if you're ready for one of the most unforgettable experiences in Mongolia, prepare to journey even further north into the taiga, the vast boreal forest that touches the Russian border. Here lives one of the most isolated and rare cultures in the world, the Tsartan reindeer herders. The Tsartan are a small indigenous people, fewer than 300 remain, who live semi-nomadically in the forests of northern Mongolia, herding and riding reindeer. Their homes are not gurs, but orts, tipi-style tents made of canvas and poles. Their lives revolve around the needs of their reindeer, moving with them, protecting them, living off their milk and meat. Reaching the Tsartan is not easy. From Khuvsgul, you'll need to travel to Tsagan-Nur, a remote village near the Siberian border. From there, the journey continues on horseback for up to 2 days through rivers, forest trails, and mountain passes. There are no roads, no signs. You are guided by local herders who know every turn by memory and instinct, but the effort is worth it. When you arrive at the Tsartan camp, it feels like stepping into another world. Children ride reindeer as easily as bicycles. Women make cheese and tan hides by the fire. The forest smells of pine, smoke, and lichen. You are welcomed as a guest, but watched with quiet curiosity. You sleep in an orts, you help gather wood. You learn to saddle a reindeer and ride through the taiga. The pace is slow, the air is clean, and the silence is profound. The Tsartan face serious challenges: climate change, government restrictions, and pressure from modernization. Yet they hold fiercely to their identity, preserving a way of life that has existed for centuries. Visitors are encouraged to come responsibly through ethical tour operators who ensure that families benefit from your presence and that the environment is respected. This isn't a zoo or a spectacle. This is a fragile human heritage. If you're lucky, your visit may align with one of the shamanic rituals the Tsartans still practice. Shamanism is the traditional belief system of the north, and many Tsartans still communicate with the spirit world through drumming, chanting, and trance. These ceremonies are rare and deeply sacred, but witnessing one is a spiritual experience that goes far beyond tourism. After a few days, you make the long journey back, by reindeer, by horse, by truck, retracing your path slowly toward Khuvsgul and the shores of the Blue Pearl. The silence of the taiga follows you. So does the strength of the Tsartan. So does the stillness of the lake. And even as you prepare to leave, a part of you stays behind, carried in the mist, the wind, the timelessness of Mongolia's north. Our journey in Mongolia's westernmost region, Bayan-Olgi province. Surrounded by the borders of Kazakhstan, Russia and China, this area is geographically and culturally distinct from the rest of Mongolia. The people here are primarily ethnic Kazakhs who speak a different language, follow Islam, and preserve a unique culture with deep roots in the Altai Mountains. To get here, most travelers fly from Ulaanbaatar to the provincial capital, Olgiai, a small but lively town nestled in a wide river valley. In Olgi, you'll notice Kazakh embroidery on every doorway, bustling local markets, mosques, and a very different cuisine. Fresh flatbreads, lamb stews, and hearty dairy-based dishes dominate the local diet. Olgi is your base, but the real adventure lies beyond. From Olgi, head toward Altai Mountains National Park, located in the far western corner of the country. This massive protected area is home to Mongolia's highest peaks, including Khuvsgul Peak, which rises to 4,374 meters and borders both Russia and China. To reach the mountains, you'll need a 4x4 vehicle or a guided horseback trek. The journey takes you across rugged terrain, wide river crossings, alpine valleys, and vast tundra landscapes. The highlight is the Khustain Glacier, Mongolia's largest glacier. Surrounded by the towering snow-capped Altai peaks, the glacier is accessible by a short hike from base camp. Many visitors set up camp here for a night or two to explore the area, hike to viewpoints, and witness the untouched beauty of Mongolia's high mountains. Other popular activities include fishing in alpine lakes, spotting marmots, foxes, and ibex, and hiking to ancient rock carvings found throughout the park. Olgi is also home to one of the world's rarest and most spectacular traditions, eagle hunting. For over 2,000 years, Kazakh nomads have trained golden eagles to hunt game such as foxes and rabbits. Today, there are only a few hundred practicing eagle hunters left in the world, and most of them live here, in the Mongolian Altai. To experience this tradition, visitors can arrange homestays with eagle hunter families. These families live in traditional Kazakh yurts, which differ from Mongolian gers, and offer full cultural immersion. You'll learn how the birds are trained, how they're fed and handled, and what role they play in nomadic life. Most families will take you out on a horseback ride with their eagle and demonstrate how they call the bird back from the air. A truly unforgettable experience. If you travel in September or early October, you may also attend the Golden Eagle Festival in Olgi. This two-day event features eagle hunting competitions, Kazakh music, traditional horse games, and cultural performances. It's the best opportunity to see the eagle hunters in full regalia, dressed in fur coats and riding decorated horses with their birds perched on their arms. The Altai Mountains are also rich in archaeological significance. Scattered across valleys and ridges, you'll find thousands of petroglyphs dating back to the Bronze Age. The most famous site is Tsagan Salar, a UNESCO-listed area with over 10,000 rock carvings etched into stone surfaces. These carvings depict hunters, animals, symbolic figures, and scenes of everyday life from ancient times. There are no gates or fences, just open land and ancient stories carved into the rock. You can explore many of these sites on foot with a local guide or as part of a longer horseback expedition. Just like the rest of Mongolia, life in the Altai is centered around nomadic herding. Families move between summer and winter camps with their yaks, sheep, goats, and camels. In the west, it's common to stay with a nomadic Kazakh family and help with daily tasks, collecting water, baking bread, herding animals, and preparing meals. These stays are some of the most authentic and memorable experiences Mongolia offers. The hospitality is genuine. You'll sleep in a yurt heated by a wood stove, eat hearty home-cooked food, and share warm conversations across cultures. As your journey across Mongolia comes to an end, you've now seen more than just landscapes. You've experienced life on the open steppe. You've heard monks chant in mountaintop monasteries. You've followed wild horses through dusty hills. And you've stood beside eagle hunters in one of the most remote corners of the earth. Mongolia is not a place that gives you everything easily. It requires patience, curiosity, and a willingness to go beyond the ordinary. But for those who do, the reward is extraordinary. If this journey inspired you, if Mongolia's vast skies, powerful traditions, and breathtaking landscapes made you feel something, then this is just the beginning. We travel to the most unseen, untouched, and unforgettable places on Earth, and Mongolia is only one of them. So if you love real travel stories, authentic cultures, and wild beauty, Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next destination. More adventures are coming, and the world is full of wonders. Let's discover them together. See you in the next video.